Hey guys, what is going on? So I want to do a quick review on the new GH5, and that's what I'm filming this on right now, is the new GH5. My buddy actually has one, and so I've been testing it out for the last couple days here at the studio that I'm shooting at. I've been able to run around with it, it's been non-stop shooting, and you know, it's interesting, this camera is super good, and there are some things that I don't quite like about it yet. So I have a feeling that, you know, this review is more about my experience in using it, and some things that I think that, you know, you might want to think about before going out and purchasing this right away. This review is more for people who are doing run and gun vlogging. All right, so some things that are super cool about this camera is the 4K. The 4K looks awesome. The fact that you have 4K 60 is even better. There's a lot of situations where, yeah, I would love to shoot a little bit of slow-mo 4K. Dual card slots. So cool. So there's a lot of situations where I would want a backup recording of what it is that I'm recording in case a card fails, because I only have one chance to record it. Another thing, you know, the GH4, GH5, Panasonics in general have awesome menu systems. You know, the buttons are where you want them to be for the most part. I'll get to that in a second. But on the menu, everything makes sense. It's easy to find what you're looking for. Everything's laid out. Also, in this camera, there's lots of settings that are super cool. You can do some rack focusing things. You have different histograms, all this stuff. Anything that you're thinking that they should have on the GH4, they've now put into the GH5. Awesome. Panasonic listens to their customers, and that's one of the things why I really, really like this company. So let me go over why I'm not gonna buy this camera yet, but I probably will in the future. First, I'll tell you what, I've been shooting on the A6500 for vlogs and some other cameras. The GH5 is bigger and it's chunkier and it's heavier. It's not a huge downside, but just something to keep in mind. Something else that is kind of not the best about this camera is where the record button is. It's now on top. I did like it with the thumb, just a small minor thing when I'm shooting. Another button issue is the display button. For some reason, it's very sensitive on the GH5, so I'm always hitting it and messing with the display. I think I'm just gonna have to turn that button off if I'm using it, because it's right where your thumb sits. So you always hit it and then your display always gets messed up. But the biggest issue for me is the autofocus so far. So the autofocus on this camera is like, it's all right. It doesn't work half the time. It's kind of like searching for focus. And I know that's something that, you know, they're gonna be able to update in the future and change in the future. Along with this video that I'm doing is my quick review of the GH5. I shot a vlog the last couple days, yesterday and today, all day, so you could just see me actually using the camera instead of just talking about the camera. So go watch that and go check it out. I've been doing all the stuff that I would do when I shoot with this camera, and why I feel like this camera has a few updates before it's gonna be an awesome camera. A lot of times when I'm shooting videos, I'll put it on an auto setting, not just manual exposure. I'll do like shutter exposure where you just lock in the shutter and everything else is figured out. And it has a hard time finding the exposure that you're on sometimes. And also it has issues, you know, when it, so say I pointed at bright sky, it might take a few seconds to actually lock in the exposure and change it. And then the last thing about this camera is the low light. It's not the best. I've seen some really good low light tests with this camera out there, and people have said it's got an awesome low light, but my experience so far, minimal testing last night, you know, it was okay. These are just some of the things that I've noticed using this camera in the last couple days. I'm telling you, go check out my vlog, see how this camera responds in the different lighting scenarios that I had in the different situations, and make your own judgments. You know, obviously this camera will work very well for some people and not very well for others. All right, so in summary, the GH5 is an awesome camera, but right now I'm gonna wait, but I know that they're gonna be updating the camera, and I know it's gonna get better and better. So eventually I'm gonna end up with the GH5. So guys, I hope this review was helpful. I hope this gives you some ideas of what to expect from the GH5, bits about it, and making your decision if you're gonna purchase it or not. Guys, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts, and check out the vlog where I spent 2 days running around with this camera. Guys, check it out, links in the description, and you know what? Subscribe, because we're traveling a ton, and we'll see you on the next one.